An easy calm has returned to Otafo following the deployment of police and military personnel to the town after two churches and a mosque were vandalized during curfew hours last night. Joining us is the Rasta Saridonko was at Otafo this morning and now reports.
There is an uneasy calm at the moment, but we have, when you go to the various vicinities, the distraction is being realized now in the morning. And so people who are seeing the distraction to shops, to churches, it's rekindling a new sense of fear and pain. And people will want to sort of retaliate. And so you could see people still converging in the Zungos, in the old towns and all that. And so more military men have been brought in. More armed police are also patrolling the streets at the moment. Business has not picked up fully from yesterday, but it's picking up gradually. Now, this morning, we are also realizing that in the night when I was with the patrol team, we heard that they were setting a church ablaze in the Azaria end of the Old Tafo area. This morning, we went there, and it was true. The International Global Christian Church, where they keep their instruments and other things, was set ablaze. The whole place is burnt. We also went to the Pentecost Church within the Azaria community. The whole windows and doors, glass doors and everything have been vandalized, including other properties in there. So business is picking up slowly, and many of the banks in the area are still closed. They did not come to work, and various schools as well have refused to reopen as of now. The burning of the church happened in the night. Yesterday, after the skirmishes, I was with the patrol team, and when we heard, around 8 p.m., we heard that they have set the church ablaze. So we followed the patrol team.
And 8 p.m., that was after the curfew hours?
Within the curfew hours, in fact.
Okay.
The youth there made a blockade in a place called Azaria within the Old Tafo vicinity. And they will not go to sleep, and they were hooting and booing at the police and military patrol team. So they formed a perimeter and entered the crowd, drove them away. But then they heard that the church was set ablaze. They sent the fire team over there to quench the fire. This morning, I think we are seeing pictures of the church building. One is the International Global Christian Church, where they keep their instruments, is burnt completely. And they also vandalized the glass windows and doors of the Pentecost Church within the Azaria community. I've also heard that a mosque within the Old Tafo vicinity was also vandalized as well. And so that is what we are learning. But the cause of damages along the street, the shops, the banks, are also seen. Throughout the night, I learned this morning that one guy who used a locally manufactured pistol to fire at the security men has been arrested together with a locally manufactured pistol. He has been disarmed. A number of people who were also violating the curfew hours, about 7 of them in my presence, were arrested as well. So quite a number have been arrested, but we'll get the round figure in the course of the day.
Joining us is Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin. He's currently at Old Tafo as we speak, and he's joining me on phone now with more on what is happening in the town. So Nuruddin, good afternoon, many thanks for your time. Right, indeed. So Nuruddin's line has dropped there, but it has to do with that particular situation at Old Tafo there. We'll try as much as possible and bring back to you the sound of Nuruddin. But meanwhile, Chief of the Zongo community at Old Tafo, Alhaji Seidu Chipsa, tells Joy News he will be meeting with the angry youth of the town to attempt a resolution to the misunderstanding that has already claimed one life.
The group, the Muslim youth, they claim a certain portion of land belongs to them, which is occupied by the mechanics right now. Nana intervened, Otafo chief, intervened and said, look, this is not part of your cemetery. The youth claim they have a paper which gives them that authority. He said, okay, go and bring the paper. The paper never came. Then the following Saturday, they went back to do their job, continue. So Nana went there, and there was violence. Somebody manhandled him, and Nana had to go to police and the hospital for treatment, So everything seemed to have died down. Then another group of youth from Tafo, because they were enraged, also went down to pull down the fence that they had created. Then they called in the Muslim group, called in their colleagues from Kumasi and other parts, and there was a clash. The whole problem is that tempers are very high now. Tempers are very high because the Tafu people are saying, you came as settlers, we welcomed you and gave you this piece of land. Now you want to take what you want and not what we have agreed to give you. You see? And it's very difficult to understand why the Muslim youth are behaving that way. This thing has never happened in Tafu. It has never happened. We've lived peacefully, both Muslims, Northerners, and Ashantis.
So if over the period, based on what you're saying, you've been able to coexist, why such a situation now? I mean, you've been able to coexist for so long. Why? This is
what I think the security agencies will have to go deep into it. I can't understand it. It's not just a question of the. First, you want to take a land that doesn't belong to you, even though they claim they have a paper. The paper has never come. But even if you have a paper, is that how to go about it?
So you believe some people just unlawfully want to take something that doesn't necessarily belong to them, and this is what has sparked this whole violence?
Well, from the face of it, yes. Because I don't think, because I know we had already erected pillars along our borders, along the land that was given to us since the 40s. You see? Why have they decided suddenly to go into the other side? This is what I can't understand.
So, from what you said, what do you propose to be a solution to this situation? I mean, really, it's gotten to a point where someone has even lost his life. We wouldn't want to get.
Yes, it's too bad. It's too bad. Honestly, there is tension in the place.
So, what do you propose to be the solution to this problem?
We have to meet the group, the leaders of that group, and to talk to them and find out what is really happening.
But while at it, will you not also speak to your members, your group?
This is what I mean.
Okay.
This is what I mean. We have to meet the group and judge all with them, and then see how we can bring tempers down. Because that piece of land they claim is theirs, until I see the paper, which gives them that the authority over it, it doesn't belong to them. I don't accept it. Because I've been in the know about the extent of our land for a very long time. You cannot get up suddenly to say that your boundary extends beyond what we have already created.
So immediately, what are you doing about the situation as we speak now?
We want tempers to come down. Now the police are there. The police, they are doing their own job, but we also have to go in and talk to them. But we want tempers to go down. I don't believe even their leaders are right now at Tafo. They are all scattered. That is what I'm informed. But the group leaders are not available. Some are in Accra, some are in other parts of the country. But if the calm comes down, now there's a curfew. If the police thinks that the situation is normal, they lift it and everybody comes down, then we can talk.
The National Communications Authority has dismissed reports of alleged fraud in the award of a license for the Interconnect Clearinghouse system. Director General of the NCA, William Tevi, at a press conference earlier today, said reports in the media about AfriWave being unduly favored in the selection of an operator for the Interconnect Clearinghouse system are false and without merit. Now, he explains that the confusion was a result of clerical errors in the transposition of data from Excel to Word. Rita Etonam of our business desk was at the media briefing and is joining me on phone now with more on what happened. So, Etonam, can you explain to us what really the authority means by these clerical errors?
Now, Chensahene, thank you for your time. Now, let me give you a background to exactly what the situation is. Some time ago, Imani released brought up a document, 15-pointer release, accusing the NCA of favoring AfriWave when they didn't deserve to be awarded the contract to set up the Interconnect Clearinghouse. And 5 companies bidded for this contract. AfriWave and Suba Info Solutions were part of those companies. And Imani is speaking for Suba Info Solutions and is saying that they actually won the contract, but the contract was given to AfriWave, and they have documents to support that. Now, today, the NCA is telling us that the document that Imani has is fraudulent, and they are certain that whatever issues that Imani is raising are regrettable and misleading. Now, they're saying that there were mistakes. They admitted that there were mistakes, transpositional errors when they were doing the tabulation. Now, transpositional, when I Googled, means that, for instance, if the score is 50 and it was 10-05, for instance, and so they when they copied the document from Excel to Microsoft, then there was that error, but it was quickly changed. And when it was changed, AfriWave legitimately won the ICH license to set up the ICH. But what is worrying is that they are saying that the document that Imani has is fraudulent, but they will also not release the original document they are saying is what they have. And what is interesting that the document that Imani has was actually signed by every panel member that was on that team that put together the winner for the ICH Chenchehene.
Right. Rita, I'm saying many thanks for your time, and I must say that we've been trying to reach Imani Ghana on this particular issue, but we've been unsuccessful so far. Do make it a point to join the other programs, particularly The Pulse, which airs at 3 p.m. as they take a closer look at this particular story. But away from that now, and displaced residents of Fuveme in the Volta region are calling on government for help after high tides buried their homes under the sea last night. Over 50 homes have been submerged, leaving residents without food and water. Correspondent Ivy Setoji is on this beat and joins me now on phone with a lot more. So, Ivy, tell us indeed the situation at Fuveme as we speak.
Well, the situation is very, very bad because many of the residents that have been displaced are person or they are living with their families and the other communities. That's those communities, Anyani areas, and also friends. That is what is happening. It is so sad that even the school and in the community, that's Akitesi, has been closed down for now, so that students can stay at home with their relatives as they wait on government to come to their aid. Now, many people are no more in that community. For example, Kokobo, for example, is totally gone. There is no house left there. The place is totally gone, except a guest house there and maybe about 2 houses. And Fuvema is almost gone. Now, the problem currently is now on Atitesi, which is even stronger. Now, many houses have been submerged into the sea. Many houses, about 50 houses, have been submerged into the sea, and many people have been displaced. Now, what the people are saying is government should come early to do something about it. They should be relocated to a safer ground so that government can do something urgent about it now, and then maybe a sea defense wall can be constructed. That is what they are saying, because most of these people are fisher folk. This is what they do for a living, and with this thing, they have nothing to do. They have to depend on their relatives and family. So as I speak to you now, the situation is really, really bad, and it's really worrying.
Many thanks for your time, and that was correspondent Ivy Setoji reporting from Fuveme in the Volta region. News Today on Joe News returns after these messages. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Today. Now, 80 cows belonging to Fulani herdsmen at Kintampo South have been shot dead. The action comes on the back of a dare by Fulani herdsmen to residents of the town following confrontations on the activities of the nomads in the town. Correspondent Tana Sabit has more.
The residents have been complaining that these Fulani herdsmen, together with their cattle, have been destroying their farms as well as their water bodies. So the issue that threat to the Fulani is to either put a stop to that particular distraction, or they are going to attack this Fulani. So in retaliation, about 4 of these Fulani men walked into the community and the people that whoever threatens or whoever decides to attack even a cow will invite their anger, and this provoked use of the community. Surprisingly, instead of the Fulani men attacking, the community had to attack about 80 or even more than that cows. And information we've gathered indicates that they killed close to 100 cows. And I had a confirmation from the district chief executive who informed me that the issue has been before them and they are dealing with the issue before this unfortunate incident happened.
Let's now go on to the phone lines and speak to Kojo Nyamedatiakwa, who is the district chief executive for Kintampo South. He's joining us live now on phone. Now, Mr. Kintampo, Mr. Datiakwa, good afternoon. Many thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. The name is Datiakwa.
Datiakwa, right. Datiakwa, yes, many thanks for that correction. Now, the first thing I'd like to do, so clearly it seems to be the case that residents in your community and those nomads seem not to be really enjoying having a great time, let me put it that way. But really, killing the animals, is that the way to go?
Thank you very much. And let me also make this correction. I used to be DC until the 30th of December.
Okay.
So I'm no longer DC, but right. I can speak to the issues that you raised.
Indeed.
Yes, thanks for the opportunity. And is it any surprising? Because clearly, livestock, farmers and crop farmers cannot live side by side. Many times in the past, there have been several conflicts. And so the relationship between them is not good at all. And a solution must be found. And I think this is the proper time.
So you believe the solution is going ahead and attacking these animals?
No. That cannot solve the problem. But that's the way that the people thought that they would solve the problem. Because from what they said, the chiefs in the area had given the Fulani herdsmen, space to rear their cattle. But many times, because during the dry season, there is no source of water for the cattle to drink, so they go to the sources that the villagers use. And then also, when they put their farm produce on their farms, on the yam, the maize, etc., the Fulani, the cattle go to the farms and then destroy these things and also defecate into the water that the villagers use. So obviously, there will be conflict.
But this action by these residents, or is likely to cause reprisals. These Fulani herdsmen or nomads are likely to retaliate, and would that not really strain ties further?
Yes, not to side with the young men, the residents, but they were, taking preemptive action. The Fulani herdsmen had threatened, according to them, to shoot anybody who manhandled their cattle. But the farmers too could not look on as the cattle, ate their yam and their maize, etc., their beans, etc., etc. So I think that leadership, local authorities, etc., must fashion out a solution, including, providing water in the dry season, dugouts, etc. And then, as a country, also we cannot eat our cake and have it. We cannot love our beef and at the same time not take actions that will see to the welfare of the Fulani herdsmen and their cattle. Maybe providing fodder or certain space aside within the communities for the Fulani herdsmen to raise their cattle. These are issues that we have to look at, seriously at the policy level.
Okay, so seeing the threats this particular situation poses, are you going ahead to probably report to the police or any other authority that is in a position to actually do something about it?
Thank you very much. I just said that I am no longer DC.
I do understand that, but I'm asking. You're still a resident of the community.
The police are actually handling it. But the police can handle this matter only to the extent that they will prevent a conflict from happening. But beyond that, they cannot do anything. I think that at the policy level, both at the Ministry of Agric, the livestock section or something like that, must come up with a policy, like I said, because the conflict points are just about 2 or 3. The cattle have no source of water during the dry season, so they will go to the community ponds, the rivers, etc., to drink. Cattle and animals cannot drink from the same source. And then also, food, we must make provision for food, fodder for the animals, because obviously in their native northern Nigeria and Niger, we are not the only people that consume beef. What happens in those areas, we must learn from them. And then, stop responding emotionally to these issues as is happening in Agogo, etc. Because when you drive them away from, one area, they will obviously go to another area. So you're only pushing the problem onto another district. And these things don't help.
Right. Many thanks for your time on news today this afternoon. And you heard me speak there to the former District Chief Executive for Kintampo South, Kojo Nyame Datiakwa. Now, the minority in Parliament is raising red flags over the Ghana National Petroleum Authority's $7 billion Sankofa Jubilee gas exploration and production agreement with the ENI Group. The group is alleging the contract is over-bloated by between $2 and $3 billion, which in their estimation is being used as payments for kickbacks to government. Parliament and the certificates of urgency last year approved a deal which will enable ENI start oil production from the estimated 130 million oil reserve, as well as a further 1.5 trillion cubic feet of natural gas from the Sankofa Jinyame fields from the first quarter of 2017. Government, in a statement last week, rubbished an MPP statement on the same subject during the visit of the Italian Prime Minister. But addressing a news conference in Parliament earlier today, member of the Energy Committee, William Orekwedu, says the deal in its present state is bad for the country. We're bringing you a lot more on this pretty shortly. But time now for us to join the business team with the very latest in business.
And now time for business. And the mining giant AngloGold says it will resume full operations at its mines only if it's assured of adequate protection from the security agencies. The company over the past few days has suspended its non-essential operations at the mines after withdrawing some staff. This was influenced by the death of its communications manager after last week's clashes between some officials of the company and illegal mines. Head of operations at AngloGold Ashanti Obuasi mine, Eric Subonting, tells Joy Business the current situation is unduly affecting the operations of the mines.
We were in the process of working on redeveloping the mine. That's a process that has started already. The particular instance we are talking of now is the security situation. The security situation is such that it's affecting the limited operation work that we were doing already. And that includes all the efforts we are putting in trying to set up the mine for restart or redevelopment. Now, that process itself has been hampered by this security situation, and hence we've withdrawn all non-essential staff. To get back on course, it's important that the security situation is restored back to normal. And hence our plea to the authorities to help bring the security situation to normal.
Thank you if you say you don't want to speculate and all those things, but some will say you first did non-essential services, now non-essential staff are going. Some are saying that the next thing could be a shutdown.
We don't know. And like I said, it's not in our hands, it's not in our control. So, and the most important thing that brings predictability to all of us and to everybody is to ensure that the mine is back to normal in terms of security and safety of not only our employees, but also the people in the community as well.
And the government is confident the visit by a 33-member French business delegation to Ghana would help improve investment in the country. Trade between Ghana and France has for some time now been declining, but Vice President Parkwesi Emis Arthur believes the visit will strengthen the economic ties between the two countries. In his address at a meeting between the delegation and the Ghanaian business community, Mr. Mr. Arthur indicated the partnership holds great prospect for bilateral trade.
In 2012, trade with France declined. Export earnings were just in excess of $1 billion, while our imports were a mere $270 million. In 2015, the decline was even more dramatic, when the export proceeds was only $650 million and imports 267, close to 268 million, probably half of the level of bilateral trade 2 years before that. So we have some way to go now to restore the level of trade between our countries. And part of the problem that we faced resulting in the prices of primary commodities and uncertainties in the global arena that are negating the work that has been done, the large number of French companies that operate in Ghana. But there was good news, because even as the merchandise trade declined, there was a slow but consistent growth in French equity investments, which increased from $148 million in 2008 to over $290 million in 2013.
And that will be it for business. My name is John Kojo Amwako. But for more, you can join us at 1 for the marketplace.
Many thanks for staying with us. Now let's return to our earlier story of the minority in Parliament raising red flags over the Ghana National Petroleum Authority's $7 billion Sankofa Jubilee Gas Exploration and Production Agreement with the ENI Group. Now the group is alleging the contract is overbloated by between $2 and $3 billion, which in their estimation is being used for payments for kickbacks to government. Let's take excerpts of that particular media briefing by the minority in Parliament.
PC guaranteeing to purchase it at the cost of 9.8 MMBTU, right? And then transporting it over 63 kilometers.
As opposed to 670 Nigerian.
When it comes to onshore, and the price then is hiked up over that short distance from 9.8 to $12. The gas from Nigeria is ferried over a distance of over 670 kilometers. It comes to Ghana, and the price over that long distance is less than $2. It's less than $2. And yet our own, from that short distance, it adds up more than $2. And the head cost is the $9.8. And GNPC is obliged under the agreement to purchase it for 20 years at that guaranteed price. Now, if the gas price collapses, you don't care. You buy it at that price. And in case of default, Ghana government will pay.
So there's no risk.
So there's no risk to them at all. If GNPC is unable to pay the shortfall, Ghana government will pay. If Ghana government is not able to pay, Ghana government has contracted the World Bank and the IDA to further support them to pay. What is this? And we're happy to do that. So you combine all of them, and that is what is yielding for us between 2 billion and 3 billion loss to Ghana. It's unconscionable.
So it's time now for us to check out the very latest on the international front after these messages. And that's how we wrap up on News Today this afternoon. My name is Kwabena Chenchen Heneboate. Remember, there's more news when you visit myjoyonline.com. John Omako is standing by with the marketplace. Many thanks for your company.